Good evening. Thanks for being with us. You're watching the 9 at Night. I'm Lee Waldman. An Apple AirTag. That's how San Antonio police say one man tracked down his stolen truck before shooting the person he found driving it. The truck was reported stolen off of Braesview around 1 this afternoon. That's on the north side. Police say the owner tracked the truck to a shopping center on Southeast Military Drive near Goliad Road and I-37. The owner called police, confronted the suspect, and shot him. Right now, no charges have been filed. Police are still working to verify whether the suspect was armed. Tonight on the Night Beat, the lesson San Antonio police says they hope everyone learns from this situation. San Antonio police are investigating what led to a shooting involving 2 of its officers. The officer shot a man accused of opening fire at them on a park this afternoon. Police were called to the Ramirez-Arnold Park near Gillette in South Zarzamora for shots fired. Police Chief William McManus says officers found the suspect at the volleyball court. That's where he's accused of shooting at police at least a dozen times before they returned fire. The man was hurt. He was taken to the hospital, but details on his condition have not been released. The 2 officers who shot at him were not hurt. Charges are pending against a man accused of shooting his co-worker. San Antonio police are investigating the shooting at an apartment complex on FM 1560 near Helotes. Police identified the man as maintenance workers. Officers say the suspect, who turned himself in, admitted to getting into a fight. Things escalated, and that's when police say he shot his co-worker, who was taken to the hospital. Details on his condition were not released. And yet another shooting, but this one was more like a shootout. Police say it started with an argument, then one man shot the other and then started wildly shooting at police. Camila Juarez talked to shaken neighbors who say the gunman had an assault rifle and was not afraid to use it right in their front yard.
34-year-old Paul Palafox is in critical condition after San Antonio police shot him on the city's east side yesterday. Police say Palafox got between 2 vehicles with an open door and fired 26 rounds with an AR-15 towards the officers. An argument over money left one man shot at a car wash nearby on Essex Street, and then Palafox came here to Mesquite Street.
It was scary, it was scary. It was scary. I'm still scared about it.
Disa Allen wasn't comfortable being on camera, but says she saw Palafox visiting another neighbor earlier in the day.
I saw him across the street with a gun, and he started shooting the gun up in the air and whirling it around.
Police say Palafox fired over 20 rounds towards police, and police returned fire. 1 bullet struck Palafox.
Cops were here in no time at all. They showed up in masses.
Allen says she is still in shock, but thankful no one was hurt.
It's hard to recognize mental problems that a person has. I wish that he would have, I wish he wouldn't have done it.
Palafox has a long criminal history, including aggravated robbery and deadly conduct with a firearm. He will likely be charged with attempted capital murder of a police officer. Camila Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
A child hurt by a piece of fallen tree at the San Antonio Zoo is now home from the hospital. University Health confirmed the girl's release today, 2 weeks after the tree broke during spring break. Several other zoo-goers were hurt. We're sending her and her family our well wishes tonight. Homeland Security making an arrest in that deadly train car smuggling case in Canepa last week. Denizo Carranza Gonzalez told investigators that he was the foot guide for 12 Honduran nationals found in a train car just last week. Now, 2 of those migrants were found dead, and the rest were severely hurt from being trapped inside the sweltering car for more than a day. Investigators say Gonzalez told them the group started in Piedras Negras, Mexico, headed to Eagle Pass, and then onto trains heading into San Antonio. More details are emerging about the timeline of the Nashville school shooting. 3 9-year-old students and 3 adults died in that shooting on Monday. Video shows the shooter entering the parking lot just before 10 a.m. Moments later, they sent a text to a former classmate saying they plan to die today. Police say the shooter entered the school 10 minutes later by shooting through glass doors. Police were on the campus within 3 minutes of that 911 call. Authorities say the shooter was being treated for an emotional disorder, but was still able to legally purchase 7 guns.
Parents felt like she should not own any weapons. She did have one weapon that they encouraged her to sell, which she did. Law enforcement was never contacted.
House Democrats are calling on Republicans to introduce bills banning assault weapons and requiring background checks. The Republicans say the main issue is the suspect's mental health and not guns. Tonight, our hearts are with the grieving families of those 6 victims. A bar owner facing eminent domain to make way for the Alamo plan says he's prepared for a legal battle if the state can't meet his price. Moses Rose's hideout sits in the footprint of the Plan Visitor Center and Museum. Its owner, Vince Cantu, turned down several offers to buy that he saw were too low. So in February, the city council approved the use of eminent domain to take over the property on the state's behalf. Negotiations aren't technically dead yet, but the two sides still appear to be millions of dollars apart. Cantu says if the state can't make an offer he likes, he'll fight in court.
We don't think they have the power to eminent domain us. The law doesn't show that you can eminent domain for economic development. You can't eminent domain unless it's a public use. And they want to build a theater, which is not a public use.
Cantu's current best and final offer was for at least $10 million, 6 for the property and 4 for the business. He said the state has already rejected it. The gray and cloudy skies continued into the night as rain chances slowly increase. Let's check in with meteorologist Adam Caskey to give us a preview of tonight's forecast.
A damp start to the day tomorrow, increasing humidity tonight leading to drizzle and off and on sprinkles throughout at least the first half of the day tomorrow. So damp morning commute, but it's not going to really add up to much, not much to show for it. Temperatures pretty much holding steady overnight, just falling to 62, so not much of a change. And then 78 tomorrow afternoon, but I do think we'll get in the lower 80s farther south and east of San Antonio. You go into Friday, more morning drizzle. 20% chance of a real shower. 88 degrees, the high temperature. And then this weekend will be in the 80s. Palm Sunday, we can't rule out some isolated afternoon storms. And then next week, it's back to 90 degrees.
The 50th anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War being remembered as an emotional milestone for many. In particular, though, a record number of Latino Americans were killed in the war, hitting schools like Edgewood High School hard. Jesse Degollado with this story of war being told by an alum to make sure it's never forgotten.
Each name on the memorial is a stark reminder of the sacrifice made by one of the city's poorest school districts.
The Edgewood Independent School District has the distinction, the national distinction of having the highest Latino American casualties of the Vietnam War.
A 1966 Edgewood High School graduate and a Vietnam veteran, Mario Longoria is writing a book about the 55 of Edgewood's own killed in Vietnam, including Imelda Delgado's brother, Chris.
He took care of us, and we love him so much.
He had joined the Navy like his dad back in World War II, only to die when his riverboat loaded with diesel was hit by rocket fire. So many names, so many lives, and so many dreams that never came to pass.
He wanted to come back, go to school, and get a scholarship for baseball so that he could get into major leagues because that was his dream.
Longoria says he knew Delgado and so many others. The war was unpopular, he says, but even so.
We kicked their tails, but politically we lost it.
It's all very hard for him to talk about, even now, 50 years later.
We fought because we wanted to.
Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
And we're out of time. Thanks for being with us for the 9 at Night. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.